There's actually somebody up there. Hey, Joe. Is it time? Where is everybody? Susan, when it's time for one more song, will you tell me? So, I don't have to get the hook and drag off. Okay. Bag.
Good evening and welcome to our concert. Hope you'll enjoy our evening of entertainment, sponsored by WOW, Work of Women. And thank you for. I want to thank our board, who has been so tremendous in getting this together. And that's Pat Gregory, Ellen Bean, Judy Bachnick, Donna Draney, Penny Dirksen, Linda Allstedt, and Kari Iwanski. And I'm Susan Miller. And I think some of you have heard the spiel before, but some of you may not, so I'm going to give you the brief story tonight. WOW is a membership organization at World Neighbors with the world headquarters in Oklahoma City. WOW mobilizes people in support of the efforts to improve the lives of women and their families in the villages in which World Neighbors works. WOW does this through education and awareness raising, advocacy and involvement activities, and financial donations from members. We are committed to improving women's lives in poor rural villages around the world using World Neighbors approved I can't even read my own writing. Using World Neighbors approaches by listening to the wants and needs of the local people and empowering them to help themselves. It's been proved that by helping the women, we are helping the entire family and the village. We are pleased tonight to have with us, who is the Vice President of Development at World Neighbors in Oklahoma City. She's also the WOW coordinator. And I'd like to come and say a few words for us.
First, I have to say thank you so much to the WOW chapter here in Norris. It's amazing to see the work that they are doing and how it's really impacting the lives of women. I'm blown away. And taking me in and allowing me to stay in their home, someone they have no idea who I am. I could have been crazy and probably was. But Penny Dirksen just allowed me to go into her home and was so gracious and so kind. So I am just so thankful to have the opportunity to be here and to get to know everyone. And wow, look at what the Work of Women is doing. Look at what the women in this community is doing to impact women around the globe. That's just amazing. World Neighbors has been around for over 61 years. It started by Dr. John Peters doing a sermon at United Methodist Church in Oklahoma City. When he was in World War II in the Philippines, a soldier died in his arms. And at that time, he made a promise to God that if I ever get out of here alive, I will do something that will make a difference. I will do something for you that will change lives. And so in 1951 at St. Luke's United Methodist Church, he stood up and gave a sermon that was completely unprepared, but God told him on that day that it's time, right now. The time is now to make a difference. And so he stood before that congregation. Over 100 businessmen came forward and decided to support him in his efforts with World Neighbors. And almost 62 years later, we've been in 46 countries and impacted over 26 million people with the organization that he started back in 1951 that began as a promise to God when he was in World War II. So through the work that's been done there, we found that 70% of our beneficiaries are women, and that when the lives of women are positively impacted, the lives of the entire community change. That they have the ability to go in not only to change the lives of their husbands, change the lives of their children, but change the lives of local villages as well, because they're coming together for the first time and they're communicating and they're sharing successes and they're sharing stories. And it's really, it really is changing the world. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for being a part of this and allowing the promise to God that started over 61 years ago to continue by doing things just like this to make the word known in your community that you can make a difference.
Thanks, Jill. And now I hope you'll sit back, relax, and enjoy our first entertainer, Liza Jane Alexander. Liza is from Norris, and she's a teacher at Claxton Elementary School, and she's a porch picker at the Museum of Appalachia. So I hope you will enjoy hearing Liza. And between acts, I'm going to tell you a few little stories about World Neighbors projects.
I am Liza Jane, daughter of Dorothy Alice, granddaughter of Mabel Grace, and great-daughter of, and I was through this. This is a song about a working girl. Hello, stranger. Let a working girl lay down. Hello, stranger. Let a working girl lay down. You are a stranger. You're a friend of mine. Get up. Let a working girl lay down. Get up around her. Let a working girl lay down. You are around her. You're a friend of mine. Every time I ride that 6 and 4 streetcar, every time I ride that 6 and 4 streetcar, I see my baby peeping through the bars. He bowed his head and he waved both hands at me. He bowed his head. He waved both hands at me. He's prison bound. And he's one to be free. Lord, I see you. And your troubles are like mine. Oh, yes, I see you. And your troubles are like mine. Oh, yes, I see you. And you ain't got a dime. Weeping like a willow, moaning like a dove, weeping like a willow, moaning like a dove. There's a guy in jailhouse that I really love. Hello, stranger. Let a working girl lay down. Hello, stranger. Let a working girl lay down. You are a stranger. You're a friend of mine. You are a stranger. You're a pal of mine. I wrote this song for my mama. She was the first person that ever told me that there were girls in Afghanistan who were not being educated, and she was really worried about it. And that was in the 90s.
when she told me that. So I'm really proud of her for even knowing that back then. And it has nothing to do with that. That has everything to do with my mama.
We sat in the sandbox, she sat on a swing. She'd croon and we'd say, Mama, please don't sing. Honesty comes easy to those of us so young, but Mama knew we thought the moon she'd hung. She'd say, do unto others, her eyes would be wet, 'cause what you give, you just might get. Know yourself and all the rest will come. Of Mama's many lessons, this was just one. She'd comfort our scratches, our scrapes, and our tears. She was our mama back in those. The 5 o'clock whistle tells you to come home, so never too far from our yard should you roam. Now there's no 5 o'clock whistle, times they have changed, and what grandma is has been rearranged. But the jest, the kindness, the patience, and good have somehow sustained us way beyond our youth. She taught us about gentleness, patience, and truth, all the things we needed to survive our youth. Take your sister, be a lady, were her favorite lines. She worried but said everything is just fine. Now there's no 5 o'clock whistle, the times they have changed. What grandma teaches has been rearranged. But the gentleness, the kindness, patience, and truth have somehow saved us way beyond our
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Good, so I've got 2 more things. Thank you. So this one I want to dedicate to Betty Jernigan, who was my 5th teacher and taught me to journal. And I sang this for her in church one time, and she'd sometimes sit a little over like this, but boy, she sat straight up when I sang this to her. Tossed and down that troubled stream of time. When first I saw your smiling face, and youth was in its prime. hoping y'all will sing this one with me. This one's for Lee Billis. There's a dark and troubled side of life. There's a bright and a sunny side too. Though you lead a darkness side, they also find you. Keep on the sunny, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side. It will help us every day. Taking all our way. We'll keep on the sunny side of life. With hoping the moment body last in your ways. There one keep on the side, on the side, on the side of life. It will every day. It will bring all our way. We'll keep on the side of life. Don't worry. Love's the very cloud I'm in right here. Keep on the side, always sunny, sunny side. Help us stay right away. We'll keep on the sunny side of life. We'll keep on the sunny side of life. Thank you so
much, Liza. Betty, she mentioned your friends of and Al Board, who last couple and able to remember too. While we're for our next, I want to tell you, I was water up there, water. Go in a Bengal, women and for each more exhausting, dangerous, violence, 6 to 7 of Kamari, a mother terrible when she thinks of Doug's carrying the heavy burden miles back to her family, often barefooted and down scorching dirt. Say, I spend more than 4 hours a day carrying water from the water spring, but it was how long I was going to live. I wanted more income for my family so I could get out of this misery. World Neighbors came to this mother's village and offered support to bring down spring water to the village. This support included a feasibility study and polyethylene pipes, fitting materials, and other supplies needed water tank. At first, the local community had to agree to supply hard labor and some local raw materials necessary for the water project. The villagers, thrilled about the idea of a new water tank, banded together to dig trenches, lay pipes, transport material like sand and stone, and complete the project in a short time. Within a year, 147 households had taps with potable water near the doorsteps. The water project also benefited 700 students of the nearby school and other local community families. Mon Kamari Rai tells about how her daily life was completely transformed by World Neighbors and friends like you. Now I have enough time to work in my kitchen garden, to look after my children and livestock. I have started a small grocery shop to help support my livelihood and is generating a good income. The most important thing is that I have no worry about water. My children's health has improved noticeably, and they also go to school. So this is part of what World Neighbors does. They work with the community members to develop their own projects. Now I would like to introduce the Singing Sis. They're a group from Norris who's been singing together for how many years? A lot. Forever.
10, I think.
Liz Heath, Lloyd Johnson, Kathleen Williams. They all live here in Norris, and they have a good time. I knew when they entered the building, they were already having a good time. And so I hope you would time enjoying listening to them sing.
Thank you. This is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice, the sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of voices too. The sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is a voice too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love and a will to trust. Leave the rest behind, it will turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, the song of every one of sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. Tulayinde mutsela leza, tulayinda mutsela leza, tulayinda mutsela leza, tulayinda mutsela leza, leza, tulayinda, yenda tulayinda, yenda tulayinda mutsela leza, leza, tulayinda, yenda tulayinda, yenda tulayinda mutsela leza, tulayimba mutsela mwambi, tulayimba mutsela mwambi, tulayimba mutsela mwambi, tulayimba mutsela mwambi, mwambi, tulayimba, yimba tulayimba, yimba tulayimba mutsela mwambi, mwambi, tulayimba. Yimba tula yimba, yimba tula selami. Sing with us. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, marching. We are marching, marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God.
This is another one that you can sing on. It's a Kate Campbell song. It's very easy to follow along, so
Please join in.
we'll sing it through. And somewhere in there.
Lord, help the poor and needy in this land, in this land. Lord, help the poor and needy in this land, in this land. When we all rise together and face the rising sun, Lord, help the poor and needy in this land, in this
Lord,
land.
help the motherless children.
Lord, help the motherless children in this land, in this land. Lord, help the motherless children in this land, in this land. When we all rise together and face the rising sun, Lord, help the motherless children in this land, in this
Lord, help the
land.
war-torn peoples.
Lord, help the war-torn peoples in this land, in this land. Lord, help the war-torn people in this land, in this land. When we all rise together and face the rising sun, Lord, help the war-torn people in this land, in this
Lord, help the
land.
work of women.
Lord, help the work of women in this land, in this land. Lord, the work of women in this land, in this land. When we all rise together and face the rising sun, Lord, help the work of women in this land, in this land. land.
Thank you.
All right, this is a song to us. We've sung it. I mean, we've sung
we've
it
sung
that
it a
you've
couple
heard.
Yeah.
We have sung
Yeah,
it.
twice at least. I know. Every time I feel this way, this old familiar sinking, I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. By and by, I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. It's been said, and I do believe, as you ask, so shall you receive. So take from me these troubles, bring me sweet release, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. By and by, I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. There is a river in this heart of hearts, with the knowingness of my highest good. I am willing, I will do my part, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. By and by, I will lay my trouble down by the water, where the river will never run dry, where the river will never run dry. This river will never run dry.
So we want one more. We got one more.
Two more. One more?
Oh.
Yes.
You wanna do this? This is Sweet Honey in the Rock song. And it's just
Got
so
a good
true.
message.
Yeah.
Lord, must I do unto others before they do unto me? Must arm myself to protect myself from harm and injury? Oh no, that is not the lesson that I learned on my mother's knee, when she told me to do unto others only what I'd have them do unto me. Only what I have them do unto me. Lord, must I do unto others before they do unto me? Must I arm myself, protect myself from harm and injury? Oh no, that is not the lesson that I learned on my mother's knee, when she told me to do unto others only what I have them do unto me. Only what I have them do unto me.
Thank you so much. Okay, resetting the stage. I have another little story to tell. This is about a woman named Soga from Indonesia. She's a mother of 3 girls. Prior to participating in a World Neighbors agricultural program in their small village, life was very difficult for Susanna and her family. It was so hard to get money, hard to have food every day. Although my husband had a piece of land at that time, we were so confused about what we had to do, explained Susanna. With food crops greatly diminishing year after year, help from World Neighbors have come soon enough. While it was work at first, Susanna and her husband received the training and skills necessary to produce a sustainable farm, growing perennial crops like cashew nuts, mangoes, bananas, and mahogany. Soon the production of these crops became so plentiful that Susanna's family had more than they needed for their own food sufficiency. Joining a savings and loan group initiated in her village with the help of World Neighbors, Susanna started a small business selling the surplus fruits and vegetables in the local market. With encouragement and motivation from the group to harness her own entrepreneurial skills, Susanna's business is thriving today. My self-confidence has grown as well as family needs are met, Susanna tells us with pride. I still have a dream of how my children can be educated to college, even though all of them are women. So you can see, in addition to a lot of other things, there are savings and loan programs, microcredit to start new businesses, there are agricultural programs, there are educational programs, all kinds of programs through World Neighbors that whatever a village determines that they need, World Neighbors try to find the help for them. Okay, our next act is Cindy and David Hopper. Cindy is a native Norrisonian. She grew up in Norris. Her parents are musically inclined. I remember them singing community things when I was up here. And Cindy has a musical talent. Her son is a musician. Her daughter married a musician. And so it's a very musical family. And David is a transplanted Norrisonian. And we're glad to have him here and enjoy his musical talents too. So, Cindy and David.
Thank you for asking us. I'm just a poor, wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of woe. But there's no sickness, no toil or danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to meet my Savior. I'm going there more to roam. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. My hopes are stayed on things above. I'm going home to you, bright heaven, where all is joy and peace and love. I'm going there to see my Savior. I'm going there no more to roam. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. I'm just a going over home.
Thank you. We're real happy for this opportunity and appreciate the invitation to share today. The next song we're doing are Kate Wolf, folk singer in the late 70s and early 80s, and we lost her at a very young age. But she left us a lot of great treasures in songs, and I love her poetry.
Down by the river, the water's running low. As I wander underneath the trees, and in the park outside of town, the leaves turn brown and yellow and fall on the ground. Remembering the way you felt beside me here when love was new. That feeling's just grown stronger since I fell in love with you. Now I've only got these times we're living in. We've only got these times we're living in. Wood piled on the porch, walnuts scattered on the ground, wood smoke rising to the sky. An old man comes home from work. He hugs his wife in a sweat-stained shirt, steps through the door to where it's warm inside. And I'm walking as the wind rustles in the fallen leaves. My footsteps picking out a tune, my heart silently. Now we've only got these times we're living in. We've only got these times we're living in. See the roses dried and faded, the tall trees carved and painted with long forgotten lovers' names. The old cars standing empty and dogs barking at me as I walk through the quiet streets the same. If I could, I'd tell you now there are no roads that do not bend. The days like flowers bloom and fade, and they do not come again. Now we've only got these times we're living in. Only these times we're living in. only got these times we're living in.
Thank you. Have another one to put you to sleep.
Just an old house with the roof falling in, standing at the edge of the watching the crops grow as they always done before. Nobody lives here anymore. The sun's going down in the Carolina pines. I'm a long way from home, and I miss that love of mine. Broken windows, empty doors, nobody lives here anymore. Old memories, they come whistling like the wind through the and the window opens, and the grass is growing high around the kitchen door. Nobody lives here anymore. The sun's going down in the Carolina pines. I'm a long way from home, and I miss that love of mine. Windows, empty doors, nobody lives here anymore. Once there were children and a few hard hands, a hard-working woman and a bone-tired man. Now that old sun, it steals across a dusty floor. Nobody lives here anymore. The sun's going down in the Carolina pines. I'm a long way from home, and I miss love of mine. Broken windows, empty doors, nobody lives here anymore. Broken windows, empty doors, nobody lives here anymore.
Thank you. I have one more, and then we get to hear Kelly, and I have heard her before on a number of occasions, and she is a real treat. Looking forward to it. She'll wake you up. Yourself to Love is the last song I'm going to do. It's a Kate Wolf as well, and there's some of us that are very familiar with this song. So please join in if you know the words.
Kind friends all gathered round, something I would say. What brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family, loneliness can't hide. Yourself to love, love is after. Up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I've walked these mountains in the rain. I've learned to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. Like sunshine on a cloudy day, stand before me now. So give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is born in fire. It's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you're ready. Love comes when you're afraid. It will be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Haven't we had great entertainment tonight? And we're not through yet. And to think all these people are doing it for a bottle of water and a t-shirt. Yay!
And oranges.
Okay. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Kelly Jolly from Knoxville. She comes highly recommended to me by my son. And so he put me in touch with Kelly, and I'm so glad that she has agreed to come and perform for a t-shirt and a bottle of water. And let's see. There's my cheat sheet. Okay, Kelly is a graduate of South Carolina State University, and she has a BS in music education with concentrations in voice. She resides in Knoxville, where she works in the community as a singer, actress, and fashion designer. She's an ensemble member of the Carpetbag Theater. And she is an accomplished professional vocalist, songwriter, and music educator. It says here, while her style is sometimes evocative of Sarah Vaughan or Aletta Adams, Ms. Jolly's infectious stage presence and unique style demonstrates a hybrid of sensitive song styling with conservative bursts of courageous musical creativity.
I didn't write that. A friend of mine wrote that, and I felt like it sounded so good that I would just keep using it.
Well, I thought it sounded great, so I read it.
I didn't do it.
So, without further ado, I want to introduce Ms. Kelly Jolly.
Thank you. I always feel like the ukulele is not loud enough, but can you all hear it? You can hear it. I started playing ukulele maybe a year and a half or maybe 2 years ago, I don't know. And I graduated from the soprano to the baritone because it has more sound. And what I love about singing is that I can ask other people to help me.
So feel free to sing along, shake along, move along, stomp along, march along, cough along. This is a song I learned as a kindergartner at Snapfinger Elementary School when the Georgia Sea Island Singers came. And it is a song that stuck with me ever since 1980 something. I thought I heard the captain say, pay me my money down. Tomorrow is my sailing day. Pay me my money down. Pay me, oh pay me. Pay me my money down. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my money down. If I had been a rich man's daughter, pay me my money down. I'd sit by the river and watch the sun. Pay me my money down. Pay me, oh pay me. Pay me my money down. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my money down. You told me you'd pay me. Pay me my money down. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my money down. So you all get it, right? This is a call and response song. And you know your part, don't you? You ready? We're going to do the chorus again. And this time I want to hear everybody. Come in on your part, okay? Pay me, oh pay me. You sing. Pay me my money down. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my money down. You told me you'd pay me. Pay me my money down. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my money down. That's good. Sometimes when I'm at home, I get real excited, you know, and I add my own little improvised melody to it, and I say, you told me you pay me. Pay me my money down. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my money down. You told me you'd pay me. Pay me my money down. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my money down. I've had the honor and pleasure of singing at many events, and I'm very pleased and happy and humbled to be here at this event today, and this fundraiser and this fellowship here in Norris, Tennessee. And a lot of the songs that I sing are about freedom, having integrity and faith, and this is one of them. go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more crying, no more crying, no more crying over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more dying, no more dying, no more dying over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. They'll be singing, they'll be singing, they'll be singing over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. Yeah. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Ukulele is tuned in G. So G is my favorite key. So sometimes I'm like, well, I could learn it in G and I could learn it in C. I like it in C, but I like to play it I like to sing it in C, but I like to play it in G. Hush, little darling, don't you cry. Sail away, ladies, now sail away. You'll be an angel by and by. Sail away, ladies, now sail away. Don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o. when I get my new house done. Sail away, ladies, now sail away. Give the other one to my son. Sail away, ladies, now sail away. Don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o. I need some long daddy-os. You ready? Don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o. Oh, come on, boys, and go with me. Sail away, ladies, now sail away. We'll go down to Tennessee. Sail away, ladies, now sail away. Don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o. Don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o. Don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o, don't you rock 'em, daddy-o. Yeah. That was good. I needed water. Thank you for the water. So reading one of the stories made me think of this other song. I wish I would have brought my friend Nancy Brennan Strange with me, but we sing this song together every year at IAMS. We entertain for the third graders that come to Water Day at IAMS. So this song made me think about water. Next year I will. You know, our communities are based around sources of water, and that's why water is so important. It gives us food. It helps us take care of our bodies. Water is very important to the community, and clean water, and that's what we teach and sing about. So this is a song. I think I might have learned this song from Sweet Honey in the Rock too. I'm not sure, but I think so. Make sure I remember it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Bring me little water now. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Every little once in a while. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Bring me little water now. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Every little once in a while. Bring it in a bucket, Sylvie. Bring it in a bucket now. Bring it in a bucket, Sylvie. Every little once in a while. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Bring me little water now. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Every little once in a while. Don't you hear me coming? Don't you hear me now? Don't you hear me coming? Every little once in a while. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Bring me little water now. Bring me little water, Sylvie. me little water, Sylvie. Bring me little water now. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Every little once in a while. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Bring me little water now. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Every little once in a while. Thank you. A year ago, there was an exhibit at the Beck Center, and it was a Woolworth counter traveling from North Carolina. It was going around to different places, and so my husband and I had to perform at the reception for the exhibit at the Beck Center. So we wrote this song. It's called Answer the Call. Because a lot of times, especially for Generation X people from my generation, you look at history and you read history and you watch videos, and it feels like those people are somewhere far away, like somewhere in some black and white film somewhere, like they didn't exist. Like, are those real people? Are they still here? And so what it made me think about is that those people are mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, neighbors, policemen. They were, teachers, preachers that are still here today. And so what we have to learn is that we are no different than those people, and that when we are called to work, we have to answer. So this song, thank you. And also, it seems like the sermon before we had to do that performance, my minister was talking about integrity, righteousness, righteousness. And I'll start preaching, but I'm just going to say, but for righteousness, to have righteousness, to always be working towards what's right and good, no matter what other people say, it takes a lot of courage. Mm-hmm. In this world, there are those who seek righteousness, liberty, justice for all, ready to answer the call, standing on the front line, holding on to peace signs, ready to risk it all so that we could stand tall. What do we call them? My brother. What do we call them? My sister. What do we call them? My neighbor. What do we call them? My friend. What do we call them? My brother. What do we call them? My sister. What do we call them? My neighbor. What do we call them? My friend. In this world, there are those who seek righteousness, liberty, justice for all, ready to answer the call, standing on the front line, holding on to peace signs, ready to risk it all so that we can stand tall. What do we call them? My brother. What do we call them? My sister. What do we call them? My neighbor. What do we call them? My friend. What do we call them? My brother. What do we call them? My sister. What do we call them? My neighbor. What do we call them? My friend. What do we call them? My brother. What do we call them? My sister. What do we call them? My neighbor. What do we call them? My friend. What do we call them? My brother. What do we call them? My sister. What do we call them? My neighbor. What do we call them? My friend. What do we call them? My brother. What do we call them? My sister. What do we call them? My neighbor. What do we call them? My friend. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching to freedom land. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around. marching to freedom land. I ain't gonna let injustice turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. I ain't gonna let injustice turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching to freedom land. I ain't gonna let no sexism turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. I ain't gonna let no sexism turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching to freedom land. I ain't gonna let no jail cell turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. I ain't gonna let no jail cell turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching to freedom land. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, oh, turn me around, turn me around. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, walking to freedom land. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching to freedom land. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, oh, turn me around, turn me around. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching to freedom land. Ooh. So you didn't give me the signal yet, did you? But I'm sure the signal is coming. But I just want to thank you all. I know all the other musicians probably join me in thanking you all for allowing us to minister to you this evening through song and story. And I just want to say God bless you. And we will, at this time, I want to invite everybody to come up here with me. Anybody who wants to come up here with me, come on and sing. Yeah. So we're all, you know, the peacemakers. We're working towards we're all working towards a place of peace, and we all have this ideal of what the world should be like, or what would make the world better. And I think for me it starts with music, because you have to put the message in your mouth. I said it to my students. That sounds crazy, but I say that if you're going to sing the song, put the words in your mouth. Well, of course they are in your mouth because you're speaking them, but once you say them, then you start thinking them, you start believing it. So you just have to say the right words. Just, you know, say the right words. So you all can join in when you feel like it. How you feel. If y'all want to stand with us, you can stand with us too. I mean, should be in G if I'm still in tune. Am I? Yeah. Okay. Come go with me to that land. Come go with me to that land. Come go with me to that land where I'm bound. Come go with me to that land. Come go with me to that land. Come go Come go with me to that land where I'm bound. I've got a mother in that land. I've got a mother in that land. I've got a mother in that land where I'm bound. I've got a mother in that land. I've got a mother in that land. I've got a mother in that land where I'm bound. I've got a father in that land. I've got a father in that land. I've got a father in that land where I'm bound. I've got a father in that land. I've got a father in that land. I've got a father in that land where I'm bound. I got a sister in that land. I've got a sister in that land. I've got a sister in that land. I've got a sister in that land where I'm bound. I've got a sister in that land. I've got a sister in that land. I've got a sister in that land where I'm bound. I got a brother in that land. I've got a brother in that land. I've got a brother in that land. I've got a brother in that land where I'm bound. I've got a brother in that land. I've got a brother in that land. I've got a brother in that land where I'm bound. Come go with me to that land. Come on. Come go with me to that land. Come go with me to that land. Come go with me to that land where I'm bound. Oh, come go with me to that land. Come go with me to that land. Come go with me to that land where I'm bound. Where I'm bound.
I was trying to think of a way to get everybody up here on the stage for a final bow. Thank you. I sure hope that all of you have enjoyed the show tonight and maybe learned a little bit too. And so we're happy to receive your donations for our program if you can. If you can't, that's fine. I hope you enjoyed the show anyway. And we have membership information on the donation tables. And we also have some fair trade crafts for sale and our t-shirts for sale out there in the narthex if anybody would like to look at those. And I certainly do thank you for coming. We appreciate it, and World Neighbors and WOW appreciate it. And we'll try to get something in the newspaper about how much we made tonight. And we thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I don't know what I did with my